Good for a heathen brother that don't know his
Well,
lines.
yeah. Well, that's because
That's really deep
well,
and good.
you know what?
Amen.
But when okay.
You did that then. You
Well,
said that
hold
then.
on.
You said
Before you
that
do all
then.
that
That's all right,
clapping,
though.
before you do all that
Remember
clapping,
that.
before you do all that clapping, understand that happens when you have the same monologue script that you've been doing for 7 years.
But I just want to say to interject that
Hey, I
like,
remember them lines though, didn't I?
but on a serious note, when I remember being in church and calling my mom and just really kind of bad mouthing one of the leaders, pastor leaders in the church, because I saw some things that were a contradiction to what I felt or what I believed or what I grew up being taught should have been pastoral like behavior. And I was like, my mother was like, if you're discerning these things, God is allowing you to see it, not so you can talk about it, so you can lift him up in prayer.
Absolutely.
You know, I may not be in a position to go and reprimand him, but definitely don't be the fire that lights the match that spreads the rumors and the bad things around the church.
Right.
And if it's really that bad, I can pray from a distance at another church.
There you
All right
go.
now. All right.
And just pray for you while I'm over here.
That's right. I love
You
it.
know, because I mean, pastors, they prepare food. Is it an A? Is your kitchen a B, C, D, F? You know, in terms of the food that I may be eating. You feel me
I
on
like
that,
that.
right?
I
I don't
really
want to
like-
get botulism
You can have that
because
for
the
free,
spiritual
Pastor
food
Fred.
that you are. Yeah, right. You can use that
He
one.
gonna steal
But
that.
I was going to sell him that. Not necessarily
You're going to
for
sell
free.
it to him?
Yeah.
You're
No,
going
I'm
to sell
just
it?
you can
Wow,
have
you're
that
going to
for free.
bribe the pastor?
I didn't
Okay,
say
that's
bribe. There's a difference.
Well,
We
you're
know
right.
what page
You gonna
she's
sell
on.
it to him.
No,
You
but
gonna sell it to him.
seriously, because it's real talk. But anyway.
Yeah, but before we get to
Amen.
Sister Andrea, who I adore and love, that's my baby over there. You guys call in if you want to talk to this
Yeah.
fantastic cast. And we do have more cast members about to come on. But call in to 323-473-3100, 323-473-3100.
And Trisha, we also
yes.
have some other cast members that are not here
Mhm.
that we at least want to mention their names because we have
Please.
19 cast members.
Yes.
And if I forget anybody, y'all just chime in. We have Danisha Brumfield. We have Daniel J.
Yeah.
We have
Frankie.
Blair. Dolores Lakey Stewart.
Yeah.
Randy Rance. Tyrone DuBose.
Brandy.
Brandy Evans. Gosh, everybody. Who? Parenthesis. Yes. Who?
Who's got to play Simon?
Simon is Chris Seaman, and I just want to because they were unable to be here, and our musical director is Kenny Ford, and we also have I haven't even told the cast yet. I've added another cast member.
Only good directors can remember all those
At
names. I'm
11:59,
so proud of you.
I have a new.
Hi, Tyrone
so now we have
DuBose.
20.
Hey, Danisha.
So
Danisha can sing her face off.
Yes, she
Oh
can.
my
We
God,
just
she's so talented.
We just added Teresa Ford
Yeah.
to the production.
Yeah.
So it's just important because these are cast members that are just as important as everyone's here. They just could not make it.
Yes. So
today.
love to all the other cast
Yes,
members that couldn't
yes.
make it.
And you have all 19
Hopefully
of
we'll
them
see you guys
at
next
the
time.
same time at rehearsals, or how does that work?
Of course not.
Yes, of course so.
Well,
I saw the picture. It looked like everybody was there.
Well, yeah, that was
Flash that picture.
That one day.
This is the only problem you usually have.
Uh,
They want to be on their phones.
I
and
thought
don't-
you said
you
you
don't
took-
collect
I do
Nah, we're
collect them.
promoting. We're promoting.
I do collect them.
Too
And usually, and
funny.
I did certain places. I collect them. I just didn't want 20
We have
phones
been
on my
good.
desk. But I
Right.
take phones
Okay.
unless somebody
I believe
says,
that, Don.
"Oh yeah, I will
You
collect your phone."
kind of gangster with
I
it.
will, I will
believe
collect
that.
your phone, or you can collect your thing.
Yes. Okay. Yes, sir. Don't mess with Don B. Welch. You gonna get on a Don B. Welch production? You better come with it right.
Absolutely.
You better have an
Let's go to
eye
my-
watch.
You're right. So even though Danisha sings as well, let me tell you, the sister over here, Andrea, has the most beautiful voice also. And let's talk to you, boo, because I know you're singing in this production. Yes.
That's her song
Yes,
playing.
That's your song.
Yeah, she wrote that for my movie.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Come on, set it up, girl.
We're gonna let y'all
Nobody would have told me. Come on.
Sing, sis.
We started out right, took it slow as friends because we wanted it to last. But we saw things take a turn. We both got burned. So many lessons learned. I don't wanna point the finger. I'll just share the blame. Was it you? Was it me? Doesn't matter. Cause it's clear to see we're not meant to be. In and out, hot and cold, left and right, peace and fights, that's all we know. How can we ever grow And it pains me to say this, no other way to explain it, baby. We gotta face it, sometimes love to stay, and now.
Okay, where's the album? I want to get the album.
It is on iTunes.
Yes, when
on iTunes?
I put two movies, films out, and one of the films I said, Andrea, here's the premise of the which one? The 24-Hour Love with Lynn Whitfield on, and I said to her, I need you to write a song.
That song is beautiful.
And here's the subject matter and what was going on in the film, and she wrote the song, and I said, all I can do is take it to the studio and see, and they automatically right away said, yes, it's perfect. So it's on it, and you can get it on iTunes.
Girl.
And that's
go.
another thing, like you said, Donna's moving into more film and TV, and I am just grateful for that opportunity because he casts us all for a specific reason, and he sees what we do, and he promotes that. And I think that in this town, there's not a lot of people that do that. You know, he knows I'm a songwriter, he knows I'm a singer, but you know, I'm in the cast and I'm singing songs, but I told him I wanted to write, and he said, well, put something together.
Wow.
and I'll try to, you know, I'll fight for you. And he did. And that was my first film placement as a songwriter. So
Okay, give the name of the song.
it's called Sometimes Love Just Ain't Enough, and it's on iTunes and wherever digital music is pretty much sold.
It is so beautiful, sis. I'm so
Spell
proud.
your
Thank
name
you.
too, so they can look it up.
Andrea, and the last name is Jones.
And you know, let me tell you how humble she is. I know you already know.
Some
This girl
days.
right here. No, she is so humble. What was it I called you in for? The Man in 3B? You
Yes.
came in and she did her extra work, and she was just so happy to come and do extra work. Because
That's
I
right.
didn't, you know, that was all they had available. But she was like, oh, yeah, I would love to. Let's do it. Most people are like, I ain't
Absolutely,
doing
sis.
no extra work. You crazy?
I want to work. I want to
Right.
work. And I think sometimes we have to really just humble ourselves. I mean, sometimes I'm doing background vocals, and sometimes I'm in the lead, and sometimes I'm taking pictures behind the set or video. I don't mind. I want to work, and I want to have a good attitude because it's all about building relationships.
Right.
And I appreciate, you know, Don B. Welch and you, Trisha, calling me in because I'm going to work. If you call me, I'm
Right.
coming.
And that's what's
Yeah, I
so,
love that.
you know, because a lot of times actors, Andrea has been in productions where she's been opposite, like the Nevada Divines and all those people. She could have said to somebody, oh, no, I'm not going to be able to do that. I'm not available to do that.
Sure.
But to be able to still say, you know, it's cool, I'm going to come and do that and be a part of it, it makes people want to work with you even more.
Yeah.
And it also allows you to recommend someone to somebody else
For
you know,
future.
for
And
future
that's
stuff,
how it
because you know that they're
goes.
easy to work with. And that means a lot, because this town is about relationships, and people don't really get that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so if
They don't get
anybody out there wants to act, you know, that's some good advice from a director who's been doing this a long time. Just pay attention, man. Do you know, do the right thing and come in with a good attitude. Good
And I
attitude
forgot
gets you a
Thais
long
Walsh
way.
is in the show too.
Thais!
I forgot
You know,
Thais.
She used to go to the Covenant.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
she
Yeah, I
used to
forgot
be a member at the
Thais.
Covenant.
She's not here today because it's her birthday weekend, and she's
Aw.
at Santa
Happy
Barbara.
Happy
birthday,
birthday,
Thais.
Thais. We love you, girl. Mwah, mwah.
Pia.
All right. So listen,
And
we
Pia Days. Oh my God.
Pia.
There's
Pia,
so many
yeah.
people.
Okay, so we've got to hurry up because we've got to get the
Yes.
other second part of the
Yes.
cast members in here. But we want to talk to Pastor Fred real quick because this is a true pastor up in here that's in this production.
Everybody put your bad words away. The real pastors.
Public service announcement. All pastors are not bad.
No, they're not. They're not.
But in Church
We
Secrets,
know.
Church Secrets,
they
one
are.
thing that Don hasn't done, I have never played a pastor in one of his plays. I've always played something else, and he's been really stretching me. I played an abusive husband.
I
And
just
this
called
time,
your wife about that one.
Yeah, I know. But my wife, yeah. So this
I love
time
this one,
I'm
actually.
actually playing a Deacon Oscar.
Okay.
And so I watched the pastor that's there, and can't tell you whether or not I take on his
Persona.
but I really, when you talk about Church Secrets, because I notice as you guys are talking, and thank you, Avi, because I've been in there when you've been in productions at KJLH, but I thank God I'm not one of those pastors, because I'm
Well, he didn't
you know,
name
hey.
He didn't name no names.
No, but see, he didn't have to name. He didn't have to name. He didn't have to name.
just
Didn't
said.
you hear what he said? He said it's that aura, that feeling.
That's why he's
that
all
you
the way
have.
down here.
You know what?
We just gonna call you the bus driver.
But
Do it.
but
You know, bro.
I have to say, that after all you talk about as far as, the ministers, the one that have the A's, the B's, the C's, but then there's also those that are sitting in the restaurant. The ones that are sitting in the restaurant, they eat the whole meal and then they turn around and say, I didn't like this.
Yes.
So y'all got to remember those folk. I've sat in McCormick's and Spitz. A woman ate a whole meal and then called the waiter over and said, I didn't like this meal. I need it free. So that's what you have when you're dealing with church secrets. It's not just the head too, but it's also the membership that are looking to, because what you'll find in the play, you'll find people coming to church looking for mess.
Well, the visual train works both ways. So at the top of the food chain in the church, looking out over the sheep, how do you and your core of advisors handle secrets or mess or reality show type things that may come up in the church?
Wow. Say that again.
Reality show episodes in the church.
How do we
like church and hip hop?
She's really saying how you handle the mess in the church.
How do you handle the mess? Very, very prayerfully, honestly, very prayerfully. You have to put it back in people's face. You got to be able to say, listen, this was wrong. This is wrong. What are you doing? Not in a judgmental way, but in a way to let them know, hey, this is not what we stand for. This is not what the word stands for.
Okay.
So, I take his jokes all the time, but I'm still evangelizing him.
Yes, please do. Please take it.
But you're acting like I'm some
No.
See,
I had to warn my church. I said, listen, if you see a guy come in with a hat,
and a sweatshirt,
do not ask him to take the hat off.
Or move my seat.
Or move his seat.
Right, because I want to sit in a particular
So it's but honestly, a pastor is a person. The way you see me now is the same way you see me in the pulpit. I don't change. The word is the word. It stays the same. Unlike the pastor of Mount, this church that we at.
Yes.
What's it called?
This is Greater Mount Carmel.
Greater Mount Carmel.
That's right. Pastor Theodore C. McCullen.
Okay.
Played by Danny Deloy.
All right. Well, listen, we're going to get Danny Deloy on here in a minute. We're going to go to break. We're going to take a quick break, you guys. We'll be right back. And then I actually have one more question for the pastor that he'll answer when we come back. How do you deal with the women that come on to you in the church?
And we'll be right back.
Ask, can you see his phone?
Yes, can I see your phone, pastor? Gospel rhythms, ladies and gentlemen.
Change me for the better. Nobody and nothing can keep me from you. Said you knew I was the one when we first met. I admit I wasn't so sure, so I played hard to get. Eventually I fell for your charming ways. Since then we've been together every day. I wonder if someone's gonna pinch me, and I wake up to find it all a dream. They say happiness is based on happening. Well, I'm so glad you happened to me. I finally found the love of my life. No more lonely nights. I have happiness that I never knew. Us being together, change me for the better. Nobody and nothing can keep me from you. Now you have this little nickname.
We know there are many choices in internet radio, and the staff and host of LA Talk Live would like to thank you for choosing the internet's hottest destination for the most eclectic sound and invigorating talk. This is LA Talk Live. We are more than just talk.
Hi, this is Marsha Waiteka, inviting you to join me every Monday at 1 p.m. for Born to Talk, where conversation plus connections equal community. Be sure to tune in to Born to Talk with Marsha Waiteka, Mondays at 1 p.m. Pacific, exclusively on latalklive.com. You can also listen live at iTunes Radio R&B, TuneIn Radio, Radio Flag, Live 365, or AHA Radio. This is Reality Radio, handcrafted for your listening and viewing pleasure. We are LA Talk Live, and we are born to talk.
Hi,
Hi, this is Starlet Quarles, and I'm inviting you to join us every Wednesday from 5 to 6 p.m. The Dialogue, Real Talk, Real People. Join us as we discuss the topics that are relevant to today's generational leaders. So don't forget to tune in to The Dialogue, Real Talk, Real People, every Wednesday from 5 to 6 p.m. right here on latalklive.com. You can also catch us on iTunes Radio R&B, Live 365, Radio Flag, and now Stitcher Radio. Or watch and listen directly at latalklive.com. Reality radio handcrafted for your listening pleasure. This is LA Talk Live, and we are more than just talk.
What's up, and welcome back to GospelRhythms.com, Talk Live Radio, and LATalkLive.com. I'm Ro Williams.
I am Trisha Mann Brad, and we have the cast of Church. Oh my goodness.
Been a good hot one up in here.
Let me tell you. And we're coming back with an answer from Pastor Fred about how he deals with the women in the church.
Yeah,
how
you
real
Pastor
Fred.
How you deal with that?
The way I deal with women, and I stay close to my wife.
Yeah.
Man,
I'll tell you a story, because my wife has good intuition. And I remember early in pastoring, I've been pastoring for 20 years, and she said, you better watch them women in the church. I'm like, what are you talking about? And so one day I was standing in line shaking hands, the one that she pointed out to. And as I was shaking hands, she turned around and kissed me right in the lips.
Oh my goodness.
And I ran to my wife. She said, what you running to me for? I already told you.
That's right.
But that was her last Sunday there. Not that she did anything, but that she was there for that purpose.
Yeah.
And as we talk about in Church Secrets, there you have to be very careful. For married men, for married pastors, to stay close to your wife, because your wife is the one that sees the things that you don't see. You're in the Word. And something about preaching is sexy to people in the audience.
Right.
And that's the dangerous part. So I stay close to Miss Carol, Janelle, Howard as I can. See, I said her whole name
when he get home.
Everybody across the nation knows. I'm
That is
married.
the truth.
20 years. I celebrated on November 23rd. Amen. I should better get it right. That's the way you do it.
That is the way you do it. Congratulations. I'm so happy to hear you say that, because these women can be treacherous. So all you Jezebel spirits out there, we plead the power and the blood of Jesus on you.
And
right
also,
now.
men in leadership, don't abuse your place in power.
Please
don't have a family at home and then you have a secret down low
right.
family somewhere in the world.
Yeah, that's so true. So I love the way he handled that, and the fact that your wife is involved. All right, so sitting next to me is Mr. Danny Deloyd, who I've had the pleasure of working with before.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna tell you, this is a talented brother. You just won. NAACP what? What'd you win?
Supporting male.
Like, talk to me,
No.
brother. Look, now I know you do.
You've been here before.
I'm gonna need
Best
you
supporting male,
Thank you.
NAACP 2600, and I'm thrilled about that.
For which project?
The conversation.
Look, let me tell you something. Any man that brings his script to Gospel Rhythms.
Well, that's
He
my
is on
Bible.
point.
It
I
goes
love it.
everywhere I go.
All
It's
right.
rolled up, taped up, and everything. Cause,
You've been using this here.
you can
Highlighted,
always
Got
reach down
notes
grab
and
a line.
circles.
Well, that's
Let me see,
dedication. And
Get it right. People don't hear get it
right.
That's
You better get
dedication.
it right.
From Dawn to get it right.
I mean,
Wait, and keep on the red heels. What?
Get out.
Oh my God! Wait, it just went left.
Well, this role is a really controversial, deep role to take on, and so whenever I do something, I just want to dive in and give it 100. And talking about subjects like church and pastors and preachers and everything going like that, I'm gonna be dead on with what the writer's vision is, and I'm gonna give him a little more. So come out and see this. This is really hard. I'm really working hard to portray this character and run this church and everything in it. Amen.
You go ahead.
Yeah.
So, Dr. Theodore, let's see, Theodore's
You got
Pastor
Theodore McCullough.
Yeah.
And then you have Theodore McCullough. Now, who you want to talk to?
You got Theodore McCullough and you got Theo.
Okay. All right.
All
Do
right.
you want to keep that? Y'all want to? Because I know you got a lot going on. Talk to me about how much fun it is to work with Mr. Don B. Welch.
Well, I'm almost in a decade with working with Don B. Welch, and it usually takes 5 years to get on with him. No, really, it really does. And so he has.
Shut up, Trish.
Yeah.
I still don't know what the experience.
No, but it's gonna happen in
Well, and
2017.
over time we become really good friends.
Oh
But
my
this
God,
is
she said, "I
one
still don't know
amazing
this."
writer. He's one amazing director, and I've really learned a lot and went really far in this industry by his teaching and his direction. So he's groomed me to just take on anything, and he always takes the time to really grill me because he wants you to do good. And if he sees something and he sees more in me than I see myself, he told me my talents had no ceilings, and the deeps that you can actually go to are bottomless. And so he always pushes something and pushes the envelope, and I go there with him. So yeah, so this is a great role. This is actually a role of a lifetime for me. And out of all the work you've ever seen me do, you want to come see Church Secrets because I'm going in.
Really going now? You
know what? And shout out to Soror Malika Blessings. I just want to say I love you, girl. I know she's out there watching, right? She's watching. She better be. What's up? All right, so let's keep it moving down the road to our next young man, Mr. Joshua. I can't see because my sister big head is in the way. All right, there we go. Joshua, what's your last name?
Paul. My name is Joshua Paul.
All right, Joshua. Let's talk to you about you and your character.
My character's name is Calvin.
Mm-hmm.
He's a husband, and I need to ask.
A truck driver.
He's a truck driver.
Yeah.
He's a working man. He's a truck driver. He love his wife and he love his pastor. He love his church, and yeah, I think that's as far as I'm at liberty to talk about.
And if you got secrets, you just seem like the kind of character that has. You just seem so
secret.
Sweet and harmless.
Yeah.
You have that baby face, Josh.
What could you be
No, he's got like this baby face.
Okay.
So Don is like, yeah, all right. Believe that if you want to. All right, so keep it going.
Yeah, so keep it going.
Yeah.
Man, that's it.
Well, and he has 2 children, and his character, the role that I wrote for him was that blue collar family, who his whole purpose is to be the head of his family and to make sure that his family is well taken care of. Yeah. And it just so happens that he stumbled across a church that he feels is a good church family for him and his wife and his 2 children. Nice. And I think there's some challenges that he will have, which may challenge his marriage, which happens sometimes.
A lot of times
in the church and stuff, and he has to deal with that. And I think people. One of the things you ladies know, Ro and Trisha, is that I don't, and the cast definitely knows, I don't like to always tie up things in nice bows, because that's not how life really is. And so we deal with things that you may have to leave and say to yourself, what's my next move? I think it's wonderful at the end of a production to have people clap and say, oh, he came home, she came home, they're back to, but that's not real life.
I've already ordered security to be there.
So we're dealing with that.
You're giving away too many of the secrets and church secrets.
We're dealing with that because it's real. And it's not me, it's not a parody of church. No. It's not me making fun of the church.
Right.
It's making it. What I'm trying to do is through acting and writing and directing and producing, is to just show what really goes on in some of the churches. And let me say this: it may be a primarily African American cast, but I'm talking church secrets, which means any denomination, which means any faith, which means any nationality. It goes on.
And I love that you refer to it as inviting people to come worship.
Oh, yes.
Church secrets.
Yes.
So it's not just about the exploitation
right.
or the uncovering
right.
or unearthing of dark secrets or dirty little things that go on, but it's actually a celebration of truth,
Absolutely.
healing, love, and in spite of all of that, we are still called to come together and to worship. You know,
I love that, and the comedy. Because he always has a way of
tying
you gonna
holler.
in the fun.
Well, that know it,
the
brother.
laughter.
Oh, you gonna holler. You gonna holler.
It's gonna be funny.
Well, wait, can I say something real quick before I pass the mic?
How much you got?
Go
ahead, Josh.
Last night I received a phone call. Actually, this morning I received a phone call that my first pastor, Pastor Bobby Kane of Bristol Memorial Baptist Church in Compton, passed away. So I just want to send my love out to that church. And that's it.
All right. Let's go to this next beautiful young lady here. Please tell us your name. And
Hi, my name is Renda Pettis, and my character is Florence, but you can call me Flo.
Hey, Flo.
Typically, Florence is one that she loves the church. In her mind's eye, a church is really a utopia, but it really isn't, because we all sin and fall short of the glory of God. But she really feels like she's constantly trying to pull people together, bring them together. And I am the aerobics instructor at our church.
Love it.
So, you got to get healthy and wealthy as long as you're wise. So we do a lot of that. I have a road dog that I like to, we share conversation. He's not here today. And his name is Manny Rosario, a.k.a. Daniel J. That's my buddy. That's my buddy in the play. So shout out to you, Manny.
Hey, Manny.
Wonderful friend and confidant in the show. But pretty much, I think I have a little bit of wisdom going on. I try not to overshadow others, whatever they may be doing sinful wise, because we all again fall short.
She tries not to judge.
I try not to judge, yes, because I think I heard this a while ago. I'm not sure where I heard it, or I don't know if the Holy Spirit gave it to me, but
it was probably at the Cork.
It was at the Cork. While I was at the Cork, I was told not to pop the cork. And just minister to the corkies.
Oh, okay.
But they say, with secrets, when you try to cover your sin, it ends up getting exposed to people, the public. But when you confess your sins to God, He covers you from the people.
Oh,
so I think that's a good one to leave you.
Yeah.
Can we have that? We're gonna steal that.
Yeah, steal that, because I got some of y'all already.
Yeah. I like that.
So, and again, you can't have everybody pray for you, because some people PREY on you.
Yes.
So we got to be careful. We got to be careful at our churches. Yes.
Be careful of who you lay your hands on.
Come on now, everybody can't touch me.
Yeah.
What you say?
Because it passes on.
You pass it. I pray for you.
And you know what? Just really quickly, if you'd like to get tickets to see Church Secrets, Inglewood tickets is 310-671-6400. We have a few left, and it's the Saturday, December 17th at 8 p.m. at the Barnsdall Gallery Theater. That's at 4800 Hollywood Boulevard. It's up in the park there. It's free parking. You don't have to worry about that. Just be amongst the first, 100 and some cars. I think they have enough space for them. But we are just excited to have people come and see something like that. And we thank you guys just for having us out again.
Love having you here.
Love having you here.
And I know your site is under development, but
you were doing this.
Now your site is under development. You're having a new site. So for those folks that are not in California, how could they plug into? Are you going to have like a Netflix type? Because you do so many productions, you can have the Netflix of theater going on.
Well, they can actually go to Netflix right now.
Wow.
And they can order The Bachelor Party. They can order 24-Hour Love, and they can order Divorce.
Woo!
So they can do all that, or they can go to my Twitter, which is at the real Don. What is it? The only Don B is my Twitter, and Facebook is Don B Welch, and IG is Don B Welch. Yeah.
And December 17th, what time?
It's at 8:00. Doors open at 7:15.
Okay.
The doors in the church.
So for all the people that are here in Los Angeles, California, or the folks that want to come from somewhere else and fly in to see this show, you can. Unfortunately, I won't be there, but I'll be in North Carolina.
I'll be there.
So all you North Carolinas, come on and see the show Redemption, starring me and Tony Grant. You guys come on through. But for everybody else in Los Angeles, please come see Church Secrets.
And in 2017,
fabulous cast.
I'm saying it right now, Trisha Mann Grant will be in a Don B. Welch production.
I can watch the phone.
But she works so much, and she's on the road much.
She kind of is.
I
told you
seriously,
that.
he did call me a couple of years back, and he was like, "What are you doing on Mother's Day?" I was like, "I'm doing a play. I think what was it, Mrs. Independent or something?"
What show you were doing?
I think it was Mrs. Independent, and he was like, "Okay, bye."
Wait, this girl is a beast, because when I think Dawn Lewis couldn't make, and they called her at the last minute to memorize the whole script, and then she ended up coming back, and she don't complain nothing.
It's all good.
I'm like,
it's a blessing.
Shout out to Donovan over there, Danny Deloitte's son.
Hey, Come on with your handsome sound.
Come on over.
Get a shout out to Donovan.
Look at him moving like a little old man.
Actually, he works with us sometimes.
Come on, bend down, say hi to everybody.
He works with us sometimes. He's going to be working the show at 17.
Oh, he's so handsome. Do you see that dimple right there? All right, Donovan, you better do like your dad and keep it moving. I'm proud of you guys. Okay, listen, you all, Church Secrets. You're watching Gospel Rhythms with Trisha Mann Grant. And we thank you so much. We'll see you next Sunday. Mwah! God bless you.
Make the word jam, the beat to which we live. We about to take a land. Let them know about Jesus, the anointed one. Gave us power and authority to get it done. He opens doors, so you don't gotta kick them down. I wrote this to remind you, so stick around. For heaven party here on earth. Praise God always, and we keeping them first.
Cast a vision.
Thank you for tuning into LA Talk Live and the Talk Live Broadcast Network, original reality radio, and crafted for your listening and viewing pleasure. This is LA Talk Live, and we are more than just talk. Stay tuned.